Welcome, everybody. I am back. I know y'all missed me last week, but I'm here now. Y'all know my boys needed me, so I wasn't there last week, but we are here. We're here today. I'm here today. Go Cowboys. Yes, we took the dub on Monday, so they needed me. So I had to abandon you guys because they needed me. My boys needed me, as y'all could see. Like the game was, it wasn't an easy game for some reason. It was penalties after penalties. Hey Eddie, shout out to Legendary Savage. He or she was on the chat like 30 minutes before the chat even started. So shout out to y'all that was waiting and things like that. Okay, so yeah, for some reason y'all on Twitter, I'm not ignoring y'all. For some reason, I'm kind of shadow banned right now. I don't know. You know, Twitter is broken since Mr. Elon bought the company or bought the platform or whatever. So if you've been mentioning me and stuff like that, I'm not ignoring y'all or nothing like that. For some reason, I'm not getting people's mentions and they not getting mine. So I'm still on there. So I just unprotected myself. So maybe it'll be better. I don't know. But yeah, so we're gonna get into it's a lot of things we gotta cover this week. Of course, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, Battle of the Belts. We're gonna talk about some things. Of course, women business. We're gonna get into that. I'm gonna say the nominations, not the nominees, but the nominations. Y'all know that I posted it on Twitter the other day, but I'm gonna just say it out loud just in case if y'all didn't see it, because like I said, I'm kind of shadow banned. I don't know, people don't like me, people probably done reported me or something. I don't know. But so we got a lot of things to cover, so I'm not gonna take too much of your time. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I did as well. It is Scorpio season. My season. Scorpio season. So shout out to the Libras. The Libras, y'all season is over. The lying and crying is over. Scorpio season, we have arrived. We have arrived. Y'all know November 9th is a major holiday. That is my B-day. So shout out to the Scorpios, all the Scorpios that support me and stuff like that. Shout out to us because it is our season. I don't want to hear that we ain't shit and none of that. Cry to your mama about it. Don't cry to us. If we ain't shit, why y'all keep coming back? Okay. So we're gonna keep it pushing. So we're gonna get into, of course, Dynamite collision reviews, and the chat decides which show took the show of the week. I know some people will start joining in a little bit. So if you're new here, you guys decide the show of the week. Put your C's or your D's. That's how I keep count on who is the show of the week, either Dynamite or Collision. If you new here, it started that way because when we had CM Punk and stuff like that, they started that whole show for him. He's not here no more, but we just gonna keep it going, keep it flowing, and keep it moving. Okay, so let's get it started. Let me get my notes out. Y'all know my handy dandy notebook. All right, so for Dynamite, the opening for Dynamite and Collision, we're gonna get to it. It opened up for Dynamite. It was Penta El Zero versus Jay White, and then also on Collision, it was Bryan Danielson versus Andrade El Idolo. We had two things going on. So we had some AE Lucha and we had some great opponents. So this opener is probably the toughest opener so far on this show. So we're gonna start with the first one. Penta versus Jay White. Great opener for Dynamite. Penta got it. He popped it off like chemistry was really good. I especially like the chop contest. Penta took his shirt off. Like I eat chops. I eat chops for breakfast. We got a little bit of Lucha Underground Penta on this match. And Jay White is a soldier. He's tough. He can, he could take it. His shit was red. Penta's shit was red. It was great. a great match. Of course, Jay White took the win because, Bullet Club interfered, but, being a heel, doing heel things, that's what happened. Demo chart wise, I believe Jay White and Penta, because y'all know I pay 5 for WrestleNomics. Penta and Jay White had the highest opening in Dynamite this year in 2023. So, like I said, it was a great opener. And then also on Collision's end, you had Bryan Danielson versus Andrade, which was Tony Khan's dream match. I know people was like, they had a match before in WWE, but this was Tony Khan's dream match outside of WWE. Another great opener. These two was cooking. It was a great match. Great chemistry. Andrade likes, he always said he wanted to wrestle Danielson again. Danielson always, wanted to wrestle Andrade again. So it was a great match. They both delivered. And then, of course, at the end, we the picture show, we saw Malachi Black attack Bryan Danielson after the match. Danielson took the win on that match, and lights went out, and Malachi Black attacked him. So very good openers for both. It's very hard to determine. Very, very hard to determine. It's hard. So if you in the chat, you put your D's up or you put your C's up. I don't know. But great openers for the both of them. So we're going to move right along from that. Also, what ended up happening. Now, this is not part of the Dynamite Collision. This was on Dynamite because it wasn't a lot of wrestling going on Dynamite because, they had to make time for the Battle Royale or whatever. So we had Wardlow versus Ryan Nemeth. That was a squash match. So we're not going to really count that too much. And then Tony Schiavone ended up interviewing Wardlow after the match, and Wardlow was showing his wrist, and it had MJF on there. So we don't know where that's going, but it looks like he has a vendetta against MJF. He's coming after MJF. Who knows? He hasn't been talking much. He's just been showing up. I'm here so that so he showed up, he showed his wrist, and we saw MJF on his wrist, on his rollie. Okay, so that's what that's about. We'll just see what that's about. And also on Dynamite, Powerhouse Hobbs delivered a promo against my GOAT that I didn't really appreciate, but this was also one of Hobbs' best promos I've seen him do since he's been on AEW. He was just letting it be known, and I feel a little uneasy because y'all know how I feel about Chris Jericho. So that's my GOAT. That is my favorite wrestler of all time. So he does no wrong in my eyes, but it was a great promo for Powerhouse Hobbs. It delivered for him. I know I've been seeing people trying to figure out where they're going with Don Callis and the family. He's adding more to it. It's just like the 12 disciples. I don't want to say Don Callis is Jesus because he's not acting like Jesus. He's acting more like Peter. If you know the Bible, I'm gonna break it down in my terms. If you know the Bible, Peter was all like, yeah. But then when it came down to it, Peter was like, I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know that man. I don't know that man. When shit got real, that Peter, I don't know him. I don't know. He folds under pressure. So, if you know your Bible, and I'm a Southern girl, I know my Bible. Okay. If you know your Bible, you can kind of see where it's going. But Don Callis is definitely not Jesus in this. He's giving me Peter vibes. He's giving me Peter. Peter was all talk and all bark, but then when push came to shove, he didn't know who Jesus was. I don't know him. I don't know that man. I never seen that man in my life. You know the story if you know. If you don't, then you don't. But that's basically what happened. Peter was like, I don't know that man. So who knows if it's leading to that scenario, but he's adding more disciples to the family. That's why you see the big portrait in the back. You know, every time somebody is included in Don Kelly's family, he adds their picture onto the portrait, okay? But I'm not getting Jesus, and I'm not even getting Judas. I'm getting Peter. That's what I'm getting out of it. Somebody is the Judas, though. Somebody's the Judas. But Don Kelly is giving me more of Peter because Jesus didn't act like that. If anything, Jesus was a little passive aggressive, but he definitely wasn't like that. Like, Jesus was petty in a sense, but not what Don Callis is doing. Don Callis is acting more like Peter, okay, than anything. So, moving right along, and then of course on Dynamite, Nick Wayne, he had a sit down with his mom, with JR. Um, she was just like, you're not acting like yourself, and you know, being a concerned mother, a concerned parent, and things like that. And Christian came in and told him he needs to get on up. She ended up slapping Nick Wayne. Christian just antagonizing her, talking about, you should have called me. You should have called Big Daddy and stuff like that, like just antagonizing her. And then Darby ends up attacking Nick Wayne when they shut the door on her and things like that. So it's a feud going on between Nick Wayne and Darby Allin. Nick Wayne is in his first true storyline. So just something like brewing. Like I said, we're in the fall season, which I'll get more into that later on during the episode. Okay, so that's all that was like on Dynamite as far as like promo wise. And then Collision, they had another type of thing that I didn't, you know, pair up with. Let me keep, where did I was skipping some things, but we're gonna keep it going with the verses. So Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny Omega. And then also on Collision, you had the Memphis Street fight, which was Eddie Kingston versus Jeff Jarrett. Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny Omega on Dynamite. Like I said on Twitter, Kyle Fletcher is only 24 years old. So just imagine him 10 years from now. Like, he is destined for greatness. He is so good in the ring. Everything that he has done has been very, very, you know, unique. He's standing out as a young wrestler. He's definitely a future. I said it 2 weeks ago in the show. I'm going to keep saying it. He's definitely the future for wrestling. Like, he has a lot in store for him. I don't see him as in just one brand. I see him in multiple brands. I see him doing what Will Ospreay is doing right now when it's time, because he's only 24 years old and he is cooking at his age. And then, of course, Kenny Omega is going to Kenny Omega. People want to see more of Kenny Omega on TV. I do too. And then I also understand that, you know, he was attached to tape and glue and all sorts of things. And he's just, you know, getting his pace back up there. So everybody just be patient, because like I said, we're in the fall season of wrestling. Fall season of wrestling is probably like one of the breathers. Like I've always said, it's the breathers for any company. They breathe, unless you're in New Japan or something like that. But as far as America and wrestling, you can look back from the 90s, 80s. It's one of those just, you know, you just take a breath, because you gotta take a breath in wrestling. Like, you have to experiment. You have to, you know, he's just probably stalling until they have something that they probably already have lined up for, like the spring, summer. You know what I'm saying? So just be patient. Be patient. Hey, Frantic World, how are you? I am doing great. And then, like I said, and also in Collision, it was the Memphis street fight with Jeff Jarrett. Of course, Memphis he got to pop out there, because when it comes to Memphis wrestling, like I said on Twitter, it's two people, Jerry the King Lawler and Jeff Jarrett. So, of course, he was going to get a pop out there in Memphis. It's Memphis wrestling. He is Memphis wrestling. Versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, he should have known he was going to take an L. He came out there with a Giants jersey out there in Memphis. Like, you wearing Tim's and you wearing Giants jersey, you're in the South. Please take that shit off. It's too hot. Okay, it's still too hot. He should have known he was gonna lose dressing like that. Eddie Kingston don't have no friends. He don't have no friends because he done like broke bridges with people. He burned down some bridges. So y'all gotta keep that in mind. Like he kind of burned some bridges with a lot of people. And yeah, it gets lonely at the top. It gets lonely at the top. So Jeff Jarrett ended up taking a win, and now Eddie Kingston has to face Jay Lethal for the ROH World Championship match. So if you in the chat, you put your D's for the Kenny and the Kenny match, or put your C's. I appreciate you, Eddie. Thank you so much. I really do. And put your C's up for Collision if you like which one, Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny, or if you like Eddie Kingston versus Jeff Jarrett. Put your C's and put your D's up in the chat. Which one? Like I said, y'all determine which one is the show of the week. Okay. Also, after that, of course, Lance Archer, he had a match against Barrett Brown. And then that was another squash match, just debuting Lance Archer because, they was in Texas. Lance Archer stays in Texas, stuff like that. So he's coming back. Lance Archer, he has injuries. I guess you could say he's injury prone. He's been injured and, he's been off the scenes and stuff like that. So, and then after that, we had Sting come out, Sting announcing that he is retiring. He said he came in Revolution and he's ending it in Revolution for good. Like we know Sting retired like 2 times, but he means it this time. He said for good, for good. Okay, so last match, the last time we see Sting in the ring is Revolution 2024. Sting is my icon. I love me some Sting. He is probably, like I said, he's the influential baby faces of all time, in my opinion. I know people will say Hulk Hogan. He dedicated Hulk Hogan and stuff like that. But if you look at modern times, as far as the replica of Sting is there more than anyone else. Sting means a lot. Like Sting is like a butterfly effect in wrestling. Sting is one of those wrestlers, he didn't really need wrestling. He just did it and he treated it as a job. Some people needed politics. Sting didn't give a fuck about the politics because he was just like, I'm making money outside this. I'm just here for the hoes. Keep it a buck. That's what, like, Sting was here for the women. Like, there's a woman. Who is that lady? Like, they would probably be back there mad that somebody's booking themselves how they are, and Sting probably trying to figure out who was the lady in the front row. That's how Sting was. Sting was a ladies' man before he got saved and stuff like that. Sting was all about the women. He enjoyed what he did, and he treated it as a job. He didn't treat it as this is my life. Like, Sting is probably one of those icons you never really hear him say, this is my life. I need this. I breathe this. I am nothing without this. Sting is one of those, like, this shit can die tomorrow and I'll be good the next day. That's why I've always loved him. He, it was like, of course, like he cared when he was champion and stuff like that. He cared about being booked right. But as far as like, I need the wrestling politics to get me over. Why is this person always booked this way? This and this and this. He didn't care about none of that shit. He wanted to see who mama that was. Yes, he's definitely on the Mount Rushmore, especially for WCW. He is definitely one of the Mount Rushmores of WCW and also baby faces of wrestling. Especially because, like I said, and if you look at modern time wrestling, and I always say, yes, WWE or WWF at the time, they won the battle, but ultimately WCW won the war because WCW is very, very influential in modern wrestling, like stories, characters, pay-per-views, things like certain matches, title matches, and things like that. WCW is everything to modern day wrestling. Like nobody goes in the WWF playbook with modern wrestling, only for a few things. But even WWE goes to the WCW playbook. And as much as, when they bought them off and they tried to kind of undermine their history in certain ways and certain documentaries and things like that, WCW influence is still active to this day. You still see it to this day in any promotion. It's not just in AEW. You see it in Impact. You see it in WWE. You see it in AAA. You see it in CMLL. Like they're very, very, they mean a lot to wrestling in the business. So let's not get that twisted. Yes, Vince McMahon won that battle, but ultimately WCW won the war. Because they got to go back to WCW with characters. Like you're seeing it now in Judgment Day. You're seeing it, like you see it even with the Bloodline. You see it with Adam Page. Like you see it in every promotion, literally every promotion. So don't get that twisted, okay? So after that, so I'm not gonna take too much time on that. And then on Collision, because it's going head to head with Collision. On Collision, we had Miro versus Action Andrade. And like I said, Action Andrade wants Miro's wife to manage him, but Miro is trying to save her from the business before it corrupts her. So they're going with that storyline. This is another type of WCW influence in a sense, okay? So he put on Action Andrade like he killed that man. We knew that was going to happen for him, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to stop Action Andrade to keep trying to get Lana's managing, I guess. I don't know. But if you're in the chat, just put your C's or put your D's for that segment. D's if you enjoyed what Sting had to say, and also Lance Archer. C if you enjoyed Miro and Action Andrade. So y'all put that in the chat. And I already went over the Nick Wayne because that wasn't part of it. For Collision, FTR returns. They said FTR returned. We saw them last week because they was wrestling at the main event for Collision last week. So I don't know what they're talking about returns. FTR returns apparently. They end up fighting Bad Thad Brown and Darian Thankston. Another jobber match. And then, of course, after that, House of Black ended up beating their ass. Like, House of Black just started attacking. They attacked Bryan Danielson, and they attacked FTR. Like, they wasn't playing. Like, they went on Collision. They was standing on business. So, yeah, we had that. We had that happen. I'm not going to take too much time on that because, like I said, FTR returned, I guess. We saw them main event, but they returned. I don't know. So we're going to get into the main event for Dynamite and Collision. Dynamite, it was the Dozen Battle Royale. And then on AEW, not AEW, I am talking about AEW, but on Collision, it was the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It was Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. Now, the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal, as y'all know, that is the Battle Royal that MJF has won 4 times in a row. He has the diamond ring and stuff like that. Tony Khan, don't put these people in that Battle Royal. Like, this is probably was the most uninterested one that I've seen the 4 years that I have been watching AEW. It was very uninteresting. It's nothing against Max Caster, because I like Max Caster, Trent Beretta, Juice Robinson. I like those guys. I like some of those guys that was in it. It was just like certain people that was in it. I was just like, you could have just had Jay White and Pitts main event. Just had them opening up. Okay, but Juice Robinson ended up taking the win on that. So he will be facing MJF for the championship ring or whatever. But yeah, don't book Dustin, and I love the Hardys. You don't have to book them anymore. Yeah, don't book these people no more for no Battle Royal. Make it back interesting like it once was. Like I said, it was probably one of the worst ones I've seen that I didn't care for. I did not care for. And also on Collision, the main event, which was for, like I said, the tag team championship match. Big Bill, Ricky Starks versus Willer Yuta and Claudio. It now the beginning of it was a little hiccupy. Like I don't know what was going on. It wasn't hitting directly. It was a lot of mishaps going on, but it started to pick up a little bit. Big Bill started to pick up the match a little bit, and then it started making it interesting. But Big Bill is having more ring time than Ricky Starks. They need to change that. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like Ricky don't want to fight Willer Yuta for some reason, because it's probably like the second time I've seen him kind of be that way with Willer Yuta. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, Big Bill had more of the ring time in this match than Ricky Starks did. But Ricky Starks ended up pinning, and they end up winning the match and stuff like that. So, yeah, I it was one of those. But then House of Black came out again and end up attacking Claudio and Willer Yuta. They end up attacking them. It was a lot going on. And then Bryan Danielson came out, and then FTR came out. It was just a lot of chaos came out. And then Moxley came back. He returned. That he had to pop and stuff like that. So yeah. So if you in the chat, put your D's up for Dynamite main event, or put your C's up for Collision main event. Put your D's or your C's up. I don't. Now the openers for both shows, it was and then the closing for both shows, it was just like we started off strong and we didn't end strong. So put your C's and your D's in the checks. I'm keeping up. Okay, so for Rampage, I'm gonna skim through Rampage because of course we got to talk about Battle of the Belts. Rampage, of course, it was the Mexican pound for pound crown. We had the CMLL World Historic Middleweight Champion, which is Mistico, and then we also had versus Rocky Romero, which he holds the CMLL World Historic Welterweight Champion. Chris Jericho had that championship before in '92. Fun fact. Great match between the two. It was, some people are new to CMLL. They got a little glimpse of what CMLL is like. Mistico was awesome. In CMLL, Rocky Romero is a heel in CMLL. I know y'all used to him being a babyface when we see him in AEW, but in CMLL, he's a heel. Great match between the two. Mistico used to be Sin Cara in WWE or whatever, but he's Mistico. Great to see him. He did an amazing job. He was the reason why people started buying the tickets. The ticket sales went up once those two were announced, especially Mistico. So he is a draw, especially Lucha Libre. He is a draw for Lucha Libre and for people that care about Lucha Libre. Great match between the two. It was great seeing CMLL on AEW, and they wrote a statement. CMLL is great, and they are looking forward to working with AEW. So we may see more. We may see Blue Panther in there. We may see a couple of people in there in CMLL. So I just wish Fabi stayed a little bit longer. We would have seen her in AEW. So we had that happen, and then also let me keep it going. For Rampage, we had the winner faces Orange Cassidy for the International Championship belt. It was John Silver versus Kip Sabian versus Brother Zay. I love Kip Sabian. John Silver is cool, and Zay is also cool. Zay, in my opinion, like I always said, he needs to kind of clean up the high flying, kind of clean up his wrestling because the potential is there, but it's still a little bit sloppy to me. It's just a little bit sloppy to me. It's like, you know how people, you could tell people be wrestling like on a bed or something like that. That's what it kind of looked like to me. Like it's not crisp enough, and it has the potential to be crisp, but it's not crisp enough. So, just that's my only criticism of Zay. Like he just has to work on his wrestling just a little bit. Like just clean it up because you don't want it to look like you just doing shit out there. You know what I'm saying? If y'all get what I'm saying, y'all get what I'm saying. Okay. John Silver, of course, he's an amazing wrestler, especially for his height. And no shade to his height or nothing like that. But he's a great wrestler. He's good at what he's do. And I enjoy Kip Sabian. Another great match. And I knew that John Silver was going to end up winning. It was a right call. I would have loved them to have Kip Sabian win, but like I always say, Kip Sabian is the mid-card heel. You need those guys. And they have been speaking highly of Kip Sabian, so I'm pretty certain they have something for him for 2024. Because I am a Kip Sabian fan. Shout out to all of us that likes Kip Sabian. Okay, I like Kip Sabian. So he's just chilling in a breathing period. They've said that they have, is some things in store for Kip Sabian. Okay. Also, another match on Rampage. It was just like another. I don't want to say squash match, but it was just another, just a debut of they're going to be in the tag team division, which we saw on Collision. It was Willa Yuta and Claudio versus also Brian Keith. We saw Brian Keith again and Exodus Prime. Exodus Prime is a local talent out here in Texas, especially Dallas. He's from the same neighborhood as me. South Oak Cliff alumni and things like that. Brian Keith is my guy. Brian Keith was in Rampage again. Shout out to Brian Keith. I hope he is signed in the future. This is a good sign. He's been on Rampage twice. So you had that debut for those two as a tag team. And of course, they end up taking the win, and then they end up facing Ricky Starks and Big Bill, which we had talked about earlier on Collision. Also, in the main event, of course, is part of Women Bidness. So we're gonna move it along to Battle of the Belts, okay? We're gonna get the Battle of the Belts. We had the first opening. Now, I ain't never seen Orange Cassidy get gangster. Orange Cassidy opened up gangster. Yeah, just one cookie, and y'all don't get no more, okay? Sorry, y'all. I had to get my mommy on. Love you. For Battle of the Belts, we had Orange Cassidy. Like I said, Orange Cassidy got gangster because he muffed the fuck out of Moxley. Moxley was coming up the ramp. Orange Cassidy saw him just like, he gave him like a fuck you tap. I ain't never seen Orange Cassidy act like that before. Orange Cassidy was on sight when he saw him. He was like, because Orange Cassidy ain't over him winning. So Orange Cassidy don't like that dude. Like, Orange Cassidy's like, fuck you. And we know Orange Cassidy is like a chill dude, but when he saw Moxley, it's like he just on go mode. He got gangster. But we had Orange Cassidy versus John Silver for the International Championship match. It was a good match between the two. You couldn't go wrong with John Silver and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy ended up taking the win and stuff like that, and continuing on the reign for the International Championship and things like that. Also on the Battle of the Belts, you had the ROH World TV Championship match. It was Samoa Joe versus Tony Nese. Samoa Joe ended up putting Tony Nese in the dirt. That match wasn't too long. Tony Nese is another one of those that is a great mid-card heels, especially for ROH. So it works out for him. We just gotta be patient with these people. They're gonna have their time. Everything is a rotation and stuff like that. But after that match, Samoa Joe, just like he's not done with MJF. So MJF got a lot of ops out there because he got Jay White to worry about. He got to worry about Samoa Joe. Now he got to worry about Wardlow. He still got to worry about Roger Strong, possibly. Like, it's a lot of people that is coming for MJF. Shit, Kenny Omega, just like, he got it Kenny Omega face on Wednesday. I forgot to talk about that, but it's okay. But it's a lot of people want that championship. I mean, because you don't even have your championship belt. Jay White got your championship belt. Do you even take the championship seriously? That's why you got a lot of ops. People want to take it. You're not taking it seriously, so we're about to take it from you. You don't care about it, obviously. So Samoa Joe said he ain't done with bro. He ain't done with bro. So he got on the mic and said he ain't done. And then also for the main event for the Battle of the Belts, it was the AEW Trios Championship match. It was the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hang Ag. Now, like I've always said on this show, Trios Championships, title belts, it can only do so much, okay? As far as a mid-card championship, it can only do so much because you're booking 3 people. You have to find other 3 people. Not a lot of people are trios, okay? So you can only do so much. But, the Acclaimed Daddy, as they're doing the best that they can. And I have been enjoying, some people might say that they don't care too much for their championship and they're open, but they are defending the titles. Merches are being sold. They're putting asses to seats. They still get a pop. So you cannot go wrong with those 3. Like I said, when it comes to trios division in general, it don't matter where you at. It's gonna always be a slippery slope. It's just one of those mid-card titles that is like you care for them, but you don't. It's gonna be that way. So just take that shit with a grain of salt. Don't even think too much on that. Like some people put it on the same stature as the tag team championship, and it's not going to be on the same stature as that because it's kind of hard to do with 3 people, other 3 people, other 3 people. It's going to be hard. Okay, so just take it for what it is. That's the best way I can put it. Just take it for what it is. Don't, it is what it is, but take it for what it is. That's all I can tell y'all. So now we're gonna get into women business. We're gonna get into women business. Play that clip.
This is what you need to do. You need to stay out of women business.
Women business. Even though it's one book for each show, but it's a lot of women business that's happened this week. Okay. For Dynamite, we had the AEW Women's Championship. It was Shida F. Baby, please say the baby, versus Emi Sakura. Now, that is her trainer. You had the teacher versus the student this week. Emi trained Shida. That's her sensei. Okay. Great match between the two. I enjoyed it. It was the second match on the card for Dynamite. Great placing for them. Great pacing. It was great. Women, we ball. Shida, she took the win. She is undefeated so far. We got our champion. They're gonna put her in the story soon, y'all. We just have to be patient. We still have to be patient. I'm at the point now, I'm not gonna ask for too much. I just gotta see it. I'm done with the begging. I just have to see it for what it is now at this point, because I'm not about to bust a blood vessel or nothing to get what we're receiving. But we're seeing great things with AEW's women's division. They're wrestling. Matches is going crazy, and that's all, that's what we got. So I guess we just got to take it for what it is at this point, because all that begging and crying and all of that other stuff is just, she's a champion that wrestles. Exactly. That wrestles. That's what it is for right now. And then also on Dynamite, which I've started to enjoy a lot, which was Tony Storm during the commercial break. Genius. I love it. It's the 30s, like the 30s vibes. You couldn't hear the audio, but you saw it from the picture, and that's what she's doing. And I like that. It fits her. It's entertaining. and it keeps the eyes on Toni Storm. So you had more than one women segment on Dynamite. Is just, people want to see more matches. I've came to the realization we probably just won't get more matches. We're probably just going to get one. Okay, for now. So, and I'm done begging and looking forward to it. I'm just going to support what we have. That's all we can do at this point. Just support what we have. If they on the screen, just support them. Just support them. That's all we can ask, okay? So, also on Rampage, we had Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho. Now, Sky Blue and Ruby Soho have had a better match with each other before. This one, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if Ruby Soho has been in her head a little bit. I don't know what was going on. But they have had a better match with each other before. So this is what, in my opinion, it wasn't their best match with each other. I think because, I don't know. I don't know with the communication. No. I don't know with the communication. I'm sorry, y'all, my baby. Maybe Saraya. I don't know. But this match wasn't really hitting like it should have, because I've seen them have a better match with each other before. I don't know. Fix it. Just fix it. That's all I ask. Ruby Soho, maybe you need to go solo too. Maybe you need to get away from Saraya. I don't know, because you're better than this. I don't know what that was on Friday, but that wasn't it. And I don't want to see that no more. And then again on Collision, we had Sky Blue again versus Hollywood Haley. A white lady is named Hollywood. I don't know. Hollywood Haley. And then when I seen her, ain't nothing hood about her. I'm like, Hollywood. Child. I guess Hollywood Haley. But Sky Blue beat the fuck out of her. So it was rightfully so. Because I was just like, Hollywood Haley, what the fuck? Hollywood. It was given. Y'all, I know y'all seen Hustle and Flow. It gave me those vibes. The girl, I'm in charge. That's what it gave me, those vibes. That's what she gave me. She gave me those vibes. The I'm in charge girl. That's what she gave me. Hollywood Haley. Okay. Hollywood Haley. That don't sound right to me. Hollywood Haley. Do y'all know any Haleys in the hood? Because I sure don't. I don't know no Haleys. Hollywood Haley. Just change your name to Hollywood Haley or Holly Haley or something. I don't know. But Hollywood Haley? No. What hood is you from? Somewhere in North Dakota? I don't know. What projects you from? Hollywood Haley. But yeah, so Sky Blue ended up beating her. Now I forgot on Rampage, I forgot to touch it, but after Sky Blue had the match with Ruby Soho and Saraya got into a while when Saraya and Ruby Soho was jumping on Sky Blue, Chris Statlander came out to try to help her, but she didn't want Chris Statlander help at all. Like, she didn't want her help. She said, move away from me, step it back. I don't know. Hollywood Haley is the one. Of course they would try to get somebody like that named Hollywood Haley. Of course. You talking about the same, you talking about this big man that wore the do-rag? Yeah, of course. Of course he would. That makes sense. Hollywood Haley. Stanford. Like, Hollywood. But anyways, not too much on the hood girl from Wyoming or whatever. Battle of the Belts, it was the TBS Women's Championship match. Now, this was a great match. It was between Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. I enjoyed this match between those two. They were really great with each other. Chris Statlander didn't hold back. Willow Nightingale didn't hold back. You can tell when people are like, finally, I get to wrestle with somebody my speed. This is what this was giving. Like, finally, like I get to wrestle somebody more on my speed. Like you could tell when wrestlers are genuinely happy with somebody that they can dance to, they can dance with, they have a great dance partner. And that's what we was getting on a Saturday night. Great match. Chris Statlander, she ended up taking the win. We saw a glimpse, a little bit of Willow Nightingale looking a little bit heelish against Chris Statlander. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I saw it. She was looking a little bit heelish against Chris Statlander. I don't know. Because Chris Statlander had to get out of her more than she had to get more than a woman on Willow Nightingale a little bit because Willow Nightingale was like a little bit heelish. Okay. So great match between the two, though. It was great. My women business of the week, of course, it goes to Miss Sheeta F. Baby, our AEW Women's Champion. She's representing the AEW Women's Division right. It's great to see new faces, not the same women rotated this time. And I think people are not used to that. And y'all have to start to get used to that. Y'all wanted to see fresh and new faces, especially from the women's division. You're starting to see it and embrace it, acknowledge it. People, y'all was tired of seeing Britt Baker on TV. Y'all was tired of seeing certain people on TV, and now y'all not seeing them, and now it's just like, where is this? Blah, 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 blah. Y'all are getting a little bit fickle. AEW fans, y'all getting a little bit fickle now. Like, y'all getting too fickle. Y'all starting to act like WWE fans now. And I don't like what I'm seeing. So shout out to Miss Sheeta F. Baby. Which brings on to my topic. The topic that I have, it looks good on paper during the AEW breathing period. Like I've been saying, during the breathing period, y'all become really, really, really fickle. Like at this time, like I was seeing things towards the elite that I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm just like, I don't know. People want now the elite to be on some Triple H type shit with the booking. But then when they were in 2021, that shit was an issue. When Kenny had all the belts, when Young Bucks was the tag team champions and they was winning and they was always on TV, that was an issue. And y'all want that back. Y'all have to be careful what y'all wish for because when it's presented to you, y'all start to complain. Y'all are starting to be like the people that y'all don't like. I'm starting to see it in the AEW fan base. I can't even say the 2021 fans. I'm starting to see the day one fans acting like that now. The day one fans are acting like the fall winter season is not AEW's breathing period. It's been the breathing period for 4 years now. You have to let the promoter, you have to let them breathe for a little bit and experiment with certain things to see, okay, this registered great with the fans. We're going to use this, add it to a storyline for the spring, summer. We're going to use this person. And that is okay. They like this person. We're going to start booking them more on this. Like the breathing period, y'all are overreacting just a little bit too much. Y'all are making things unenjoyable. We wasn't like that. Y'all are starting to get like that. Y'all need to settle the fuck down. Okay. Settle down. Tony Khan has spoiled the fan base to the point that he can't even breathe anymore. That's a bad thing. You do not want Tony Khan to turn into Vince McMahon. I'm not talking about allegation-wise. I'm talking about on some fuck the fans. I'm going to do what I want to do. It was a time that Vince McMahon was listening to the fans. And then when the fans started to get so demanding, Vince started to just do what I want to do. You don't want the promoter to say fuck the fans because how, obnoxious y'all are getting. Thank you for bringing that up. Hold on, let me. add up. The empty seat pics are, yes, like y'all are start getting so concerned with the attendance. They don't, I need, he will probably do that when he gets the time, but when certain Dark and Elevation was in Universal Studios, like the stuff that y'all are demanding, y'all are forgetting. It was doing it in 2019, 2020, 2021. It was complaints. And now y'all asking for certain shit back. Y'all are asking for shit back that y'all complained about. That shit is fickle. That shit is fickle as fuck. Y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all don't know what y'all want at this point. And y'all are acting just like WWE fans. That's why Vince started saying fuck them. That y'all have to understand the pressure within that. The pressure within that, like the fans, even like it's not even just in wrestling. That shit you can see it in the music industry. Like artists talk about it all the time. The fans can get so demanding that it could get mind blowing because y'all will change up so when things don't go y'all way instead of just letting shit play out. We are, like I keep saying, we're in the fall winter season. Fall winter season is slow for a reason because wrestling cannot compete with real sports, especially during football season. They cannot compete with that. So that's the time that they slow the fuck down. They pick right back up once football season is over. Y'all have to understand the business and within that. Y'all don't understand the business and within that. And so y'all just start demanding shit. We need this. We need that. We need this. This is the time in the period where they start to see, okay, we're going to do something with this person come spring. We're going to do something with this person comes spring. Like it's been happening in 2019. Yes, instant gratification has ruined a lot of things. That even happens in WWE. I'm starting to see people switch up on LA Knight out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't even watch WWE, but now I'm starting to see people be like, okay, this shit is getting this and this and this. Y'all have to let the chefs cook, and y'all don't. Y'all don't want them to cook. Y'all have to be patient. That's like the downfall of social media. Like people want things instantly. And because y'all want things instantly, because it fits a narrative that y'all created in y'all head. It has nothing to do with the business. It's something to fit y'all narratives that y'all made up in y'all head. Y'all fantasy book something, and as soon as it's not happening, you shit on it. Nobody told you to fantasy book that. Who said that this was going to happen? You made that up in your head. Like, it's bad enough that content creators do it. And then when you have content creators do it, especially people that are fans of content creations, I can be a testament to that. Like, I have fantasy book things, but y'all have never, y'all see me, I bring up certain things that I know for sure that I can kind of see that's happening. But you're not going to see me be like, oh, this thing is not booked correctly because some shit that I made up in my head. Y'all not going to get that from me. Y'all have never got that from me. Okay? So y'all not going to get that from me. So y'all have to understand the business-wise. That's why Tony Khan probably ain't listening or seeing some of the tweets that he's seeing. Like, I'm not going to fucking listen to you because you're the one who said that you want this to happen. You're shitting on this. Vince McMahon stopped listening to y'all years ago. He said it himself. Vince McMahon said it himself. Wrestling fans are idiots. You start to kind of see that, with the shit that we see on the timelines from the IWC. Wrestling fans are idiots. Not all of us, but the majority. And we have to fall with the majority, including me. And I know I ain't no idiot. So, like I said, fall, winter season, wrestling is competing with football. There is no competition, obviously. Football is the dominant, the networks fight over football on their networks. Networks ain't fighting over no damn wrestling. Fox let WWE go. Y'all can go because y'all not making us no money. Mm. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, let the chefs cook. The thing with the elite, that shit was uncalled for. I'm just like, the elite gonna get back. First of all, y'all don't pay attention to what Young Bucks say. Young Bucks have said multiple times they're getting a little bit too old for it. They don't have what they have left. Y'all haven't been paying attention to the bios. Kenny just turned 40. Kenny just turned 40. Adam Page, in ways, he's thinking about his family. Appreciate them while they're there, because they're kind of planting that they're not going to be here all the time in the ring. These people are not trying to wrestle forever. These people are not trying to wrestle in their 60s, in their 70s. Kenny Omega has said that. I'm not trying to be 50 years old and wrestle. Young Bucks has said that. Adam Page has said that. Right. Kenny Omega has said on interview, if he gets injured one more time, he's done with wrestling. He has said that. If he gets injured one, because that shit scared him. He said if he gets injured one more time, he's done. Young Bucks are saying, hey, the time, we don't have much time. Adam Page is just like, I don't know how much I can do these bumps, but I'm just here for the ride. People are getting older. People don't want to be like Ric Flair. People don't, they love Sting, but nobody ain't trying to wrestle that long. We are, this is millennials here. Millennials are different from boomers. Like the millennials, we have lives, okay? We're trying to get old. We're trying to be able to walk and all of that stuff. They're not trying to be like, we see how these legends end up aging. You see how horrible they're aging. They can barely walk. They like 60 years old and they look 80. They don't want that. John Cena fucking said not too long ago, I'm not trying to do this for a long time. Like, y'all gotta relax. Like, chill the fuck out. Chill. Everybody's gonna get what they want. And then when it happens, I'm gonna sit there and be like, y'all told me. Like I've always been doing. But anywho, I'm done preaching with that. So it looks good on paper in the fall. Let it. That's how they experiment with stuff. Okay? Let it look good on paper in the fall. Just relax. Just chill. Okay? Which, brings me to the champion, MJF. Now, I don't bring up ratings on this show. I talk about the demo chart because the demo chart helps me understand why things are booked the way they book and who actually is a draw for AEW. MJF estimate since he's been champion, which was in November of 2022, been hitting 549 most of his reign until Adam Cole came in the picture. If you want to know what the 549, that has been probably the lowest the AEW champion demo wise has been. Now I've said on Twitter, and people, they bring out he had 80K people on their feet. 80K people was on their feet for fucking Jay Lethal. 80K people was on their feet for the entire show. Okay, so you can't say that. the problem with MJF, in my opinion, he's a great wrestler. But as far as the character that he is doing and how he's doing it, he has to understand you're trying to be champion, but have a part-time wrestling. That's not going to work in AEW. AEW has been known for wrestling champions. Now, Kenny Omega wasn't booked all the time, but Kenny Omega wrestled a lot because he had multiple championships. Adam Page was a wrestling champion. Moxley was a wrestling champion. The only one that is valid was Chris Jericho, and that's because Chris Jericho was putting faith, like he was getting viewerships for AEW. So it made sense that he didn't have to wrestle because he is a household name in within himself. I don't know if MJF think he is as well, but he's not. And we have to understand something. What works for Roman Reigns is not going to work for you. Roman Reigns, he's trying to have this part-time thing just like Roman Reigns is. The problem with that is Roman Reigns worked before he got to I'm a part-timer. Roman Reigns was always booked, even before, he had the illness and even after that. You know what I'm saying? He worked his ass off to get to that point in his career. It wasn't off the dome. You know what I'm saying? He was set, exactly. He was set up years for this role. Now, the only, major factor, and within that, they lost Fox because of that. But, he's still a household name and within himself. Now, wrestling is not what it used to be because even though, he is a household name, in wrestling, not outside wrestling, but in wrestling, is still a household name. Jericho was able to do it because people was trying to argue with me talking about, well, Jericho was a part, he barely was wrestling. I'm like, it's fucking Chris Jericho. He didn't have to. People knew who Chris Jericho was, so they was watching AEW. It was a business move. But I can say this, Chris Jericho was always on TV. Every Dynamite, Chris Jericho was there. Either he was opening talking or he was closing talking. But Chris Jericho was there every night. TNT was like, you got to be there. I don't care if it's a little bit of bubbly. Say it or something. Chris Jericho was there. Chris Jericho's a household name. Chris Jericho's transitioning. He understood he was transitioning. He talked about it just recently. He wanted Adam Page to be champion first, but because they had the TNT network, they needed to draw the audience. What's better than, okay, Chris Jericho is going to be the first AEW champion so we can get the viewership. And that's what happened. Chris Jericho did his job. He got the viewership. MJF is a champion and has been the lowest on the demo chart. The only time he's not is when Adam Cole is in the picture. So you got to thank Adam Cole for that. And now you even see it now when Adam Cole is out injured because that's God. It's like, no. He needs to understand something. Without Adam Cole is injured. I wish I had the picture, but I'll be posting it on my Instagram. Make sure y'all follow my Instagram because I always post a demo chart. Like I said, I paid $5 for the Patreon. WrestleNomics to see all this shit. Okay. Now I know I didn't have a show last week, but when the demo chart came out with the NXT and AEW shit, MJF was the lowest again. His promo, it was the lowest. It picked up when Juice Robinson did the anti-Semitic shit. That is saying something. Juice Robinson been doing the coin shit, but we know that was, it was uncool, but it picked up. That is saying something. That is saying a lot. Yes, he gets a pop, but it's not registering with the people that watches. Jay White is just holding the title, and Jay White seems like more of the champion than our actual champion. And like I said on the timeline, if MJF is such a good champion, why was nobody outraged with his placement on the PWI? Y'all remember in 2021 when it was either Kenny or it was going to be Roman? Y'all remember how that shit was? That shit felt like Mike Tyson Holyfield type shit. We didn't get that. You know what the outrage was about? Why is Orange Cassidy not in the top 3? It was why is Orange Cassidy not in the top 3? Nobody said a word about MJF's placement. Quiet. They're quiet. They can't say nothing. They are quiet. What Beyonce do? She say? What was he? I think he was number 8, number 9, or number 8. I know he was after Cody. He's a champion. I don't know. I don't know when NJ does, but hopefully soon. I don't know. Like I said, it's the fall season. It's the fall, winter. Mm-hmm. Fall, winter. I don't know. But yeah, so either Jay White needs to be the new champion, or like they was hinting 13 more days or something like that. Kenny needs to get the belt. Somebody has to get the belt because our champion is not doing it. Our champion is not doing it, and he hasn't been doing it. 250 days, 8 defenses. 8. 250 days and only 8. I'm just saying. Yes, he's the youngest AEW champion. But what do we remember? Yes. Absolutely. You're right on it. That is it. He's the youngest champion, but what do we remember? Adam Cole? That's all we're going to get from it. Adam Cole. Swerve will be the new champion. I think they're going to wait. I want them to wait at least the summer. Spring, summer. That would be the perfect time. Spring, summer. Not the fall. Spring, summer. That would be the perfect time. It's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Give it time. Because they want it to mean something for Swerve. So give it time, y'all. It's going to mean something. Okay? Because it has to get out this ruffle with MJF. Like, I want Swerve to defend it against a worthy champion, not MJF. Not MJF. I want it to be a worthy champion so that way it can add that stigma back. So that way it can add the prestige back. So let him win it off of somebody worthy. Not MJF though. It ain't gonna mean nothing to me. I want it to be off of somebody with a caliber. Okay. So moving on, y'all, because I don't want to take too much time. Shit, my contact, y'all. The AEW Wrestler of the Week. Now I'm giving it to 2 people because, like I said earlier, they had the highest demo for Dynamite opening, which was Penta and Jay White. These two are my AEW wrestlers of the week. Fantastic, amazing. AE Lucha never lets AEW down. AE Lucha has been on board. So I'm giving it to those two. Look at the belt. It looks bright. Put Jay White back on there. It looks beautiful on him. Like, look how it looks on him. It's just, it's perfect on Jay White. It's perfect on him. It is so perfect. All right, so before we get out of here, y'all know that I had let me get it out. Hold on. Let me put the picture up. Y'all know that I debuted the nominations for this year. Nomination special. I'm not going to announce the nominees because I'm going to announce it at the nomination special show, but I will announce the nominations for this year. I did change it up a little bit from last year, but it's gonna be something. Okay, so I'm gonna list them all just in case if you didn't see it or if you missed it. Now for the thank you. Yeah. So I had to get my phone. Of course, we honoring, like I said, my Lifetime Achievement Award, the thing. We're honoring Jeff Jarrett. I don't care how y'all feel. I'm honoring Jeff Jarrett. We got to give our people like flowers while they living, okay? It's going to be Manager of the Year, Engagement of the Year, Supporter of the Year, Dog of the Year, Vet of the Year, Most Improved Male of the Year, Most Improved Female of the Year, Best Male Gear, Best Female Gear, Best Tag Team of the Year, Best Faction of the Year, Best Heel of the Year, Best Face of the Year, Mr. and Mrs. Dynamite of the Year, Mr. and Mrs. Collision of the Year, Best Trios of the Year, AE Lucha of the Year, Moments of the Year, Best Male Match of the Year, Best Female Match of the Year, What the Fuck of the Year, Best Pay-Per-View of the Year, AEW Male Wrestler of the Year, and AEW Female Wrestler of the Year. So that is the nominations of this year, All Elite with Keeks AEW Awards, the second annual. And then, of course, like I said, November 6th, which is on my birthday week, because my birthday is 11/9/90. I was born 91. Shout out to November 9th. That's my birthday. But November 6th, that is the nomination special show. Yeah, I can't wait to, that's a nomination special show. That's when I will say the nominees. And then, of course, on December 16th, it will be the actual AEW, the award show. Okay, so November 6th is the nomination special show. That's when I reveal who the nominees are. And, of course, Public Enemies will post it on the pages and stuff, just in case if you missed the show. And I will post it on my Instagram, all the nominees and stuff like that. And then on December, that's the actual All Elite with Keeks AEW, the second annual AEW Awards, okay, for the year. Y'all know, like I said, the time frame is from All Out 2022 all the way through All Out 2023. That is my time frame of the year for my shit, okay? It's for the AEW fan culture, okay? This is something for y'all. I had got great reviews on it last year, so this year is gonna be something. I am so excited to let y'all know who is the nominees. Fuck PWI and all of that other stuff. This is all me, okay? This is me. This is all me. So if you mad at the nominees, come to me. Come to me. Just tell me, like, I ain't fucking with it. And I'll be like, okay, well, you ain't gotta watch then. My mouth is ruthless. So come to me if you got a problem with the nominees, or you feel like he and she should have won, I can take it. I'm a big dog. I can take it. Okay? I can take it. But I'm pretty certain when I, see the nominations and stuff, y'all gonna be like, either it's gonna be hard or y'all gonna be like, ooh, shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna have CJ with me. CJ don't even know the nominees. So his reactions is going to be the actual natural reactions. Okay, so make sure y'all tune in November 6th, but tune in every Monday. But November 6th, which is in 2 weeks, the nomination special show. Okay, I'm not reviewing no Dynamite or no Collision or nothing on that show because we're gonna get right to the nominations because as y'all read all the things, it's lengthy. It's gonna be lengthy. This is the AEW Grammys. Okay, this is the AEW Oscars. I don't care what these other networks. I know they have awards, but this is for the AEW fan base culture. Okay, this is for y'all. This is for us. Day one is doing this. Okay, so it matters. Okay, and then I have some special Black women that is journalist that's going to be covering it. Shantice from Talk of Champions Hearts. She is doing a monologue for the Jeff Jarrett because we're giving him his flowers. I am a big firm believer because y'all know I'm from Southern. Give people their flower while they live and let them smell the roses while they're still alive. We are losing people. People are dying. People are dying like they never died before. You know what I'm saying? That's something my great granny used to say. So November 6th, nomination special. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's been lengthy. We're going to get up out of here. Get my getaway music, please.
You've mentioned a couple names recently. Who were they?
Listen, man. They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
Thanks.